Saw dudes. If you haven't heard already, Bungie laid off about 100 employees, or about 8% of their workforce. This is extremely saddening, but to me, it is insanely frustrating. Right after the layoffs, Pete Parsons, the CEO of Bungie, released this post on X. It reads, "Today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio. What these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games and Bungie culture has been enormous and will continue to be a part of Bungie long into the future." After this completely tone-deaf tweet, I've decided to share a few thoughts. Let's first start by myth-busting some rumors that have been going around. 1. Sony has nothing to do with the layoffs. According to IGN, Bungie took responsibility for the layoffs due to underperformance of Destiny 2 over the last year, as well as lower than expected pre-orders for the upcoming expansion, The Final Shape. 2. Employees at the studio were locked out of all of their accounts before the layoffs were even official. Others found out via Twitter, now called X. Those who were laid off were told not to tell others about it. 3. Bungie intentionally tried to hide the true extent of how many employees were fired. It became clear that they fired some pretty big names that had been with the company for super long. This includes Michael Salvatore and Lorraine McLeese. This whole situation was spurred on due to a 45% drop in projected earnings. This doesn't mean that the value of the company dropped by 45%, it just means that they missed their target by 45%, which is nearly half of what they expected. That is ridiculous. Probably because the corporate elite in the company set unrealistic expectations for the sale of Lightfall. Bungie did not lose money, nor did they lose profit. They lost profit growth. The mindset that they adopted is one that is rooted in corporate greed. For reference, Final Fantasy XVI was a massive success and had pretty high reviews from much of the player base. Despite that, it was considered a failure by Square Enix since it did not meet their high expectations. Management is the one to blame for setting this expectation. They set an unreasonably high goal with the knowledge that the game is suffering and did not take the steps to fix it. Instead, they were hellbent on squeezing as much money out of the player base and increasing the profit margin. Pete Parsons stated that the mass firing was due to waning interest in Destiny 2 and declining player sentiment. This move only reinforces those feelings for much of the community. Management is the one to blame here. But wait, it gets worse. Remember the second point that I made near the start of the video? Yeah, the way these employees were treated at the end was just downright disrespectful. They were told not to let the news out to anyone else, and couldn't even get contact info from coworkers they spent years of their lives with. Also, the layoffs were chosen to take place on the 30th of October because the benefits for employees would only last until the end of the month. This meant that the employees would only have one day for the benefits, that being the 31st. Developers at Bungie also told high executives for months about the lower player sentiment and the necessary changes that needed to be made to improve the game. It seems like those thoughts fell on deaf ears because many problems still plague the game and the aggressive monetization strategy is still very prevalent. These layoffs will cause compounding issues going forward. First, it increases the amount of work individuals have to do, especially in areas that are already understaffed. Second, it decreases the morale of the workplace. Like Fallout had said in his video, those still at Bungie may have a sense of survivor's guilt. They won't feel secure working for Bungie, and that will affect the work that they put out. The corporate world is no stranger to stuff like this, but damn, it is inhumane and cruel to treat people like this. The gaming industry is riddled with crunches, high demand from execs that are unfeasible, and just has poor management. But when you see this image, it really does make your blood boil. It just makes Bungie look like a company set up in deception. Parsons' tweet completely deflects the issues at Bungie and makes the loyal employees pay the price. It's just like the corporal rat behavior seen in Cyberpunk, as goofy as it sounds. I really don't like making videos like this, but seeing as I primarily make Destiny 2 content, it had to be done. I do think that Bungie needs a reality check, especially Pete Parsons. Getting rid of people who go to work to create a great game that they care about is criminal and speaks volumes about the people running the company. Not only will this hurt the game in the short term, it might be the final nail in the coffin. I hope that those affected find a place that treats them with respect and gives them a sense of security. Just remember, corporations and game companies are not your friend. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy farming.